Today's moment in Black history is all about Dr. Charles Drew. Dr. Charles Drew has saved countless lives across time and is known as being the father of the blood bank. Dr. Drew was born in 1904 to a middle-class family in Washington, D.C. The neighborhood they lived in was fairly integrated, which was not super common for the time, but did really shape his upbringing and his beliefs on equality. All throughout high school, he was big into athletics, and in fact, he did not go to college for academics. He went on an athletic scholarship. He went for a football scholarship, and then he also ran track and field while he majored in science. He knew he wanted to go to medical school, but he also knew that he really couldn't afford it, so he spent time as a college professor and then also as a football coach and athletic director for a nearby university. When he finally had some money saved, he decided to go to medical school in Canada. And he became very fascinated with blood and just how it reacts to different stimulus and how it can react within different bodies, especially after a blood transfusion. At the time, blood transfusions were incredibly difficult because there really was no way to store or move big quantities of blood anywhere. So if you didn't have someone right there who could donate blood for the transfusion, pretty much you were out of luck. And he thought that really does not make sense. And he made it his mission to figure out a way to fix that. He graduated with both his Doctor of Medicine and Master of Surgery and then returned to the United States to work for Howard University. He started in pathology and then moved to being an instructor to teach other folks how to be surgeons. And while he was doing that, he also started doing a graduate fellowship at Columbia University, and he won his Doctor of Science in Surgery, becoming the first African American to earn a Doctor of Science in Medicine degree within the United States in 1940. After that point, he tried to join the American Medical Association, but he was denied because of his race. However, he didn't let that stop him from being extraordinary. When World War II was in full swing, there were some people in Britain who found his thesis to be very interesting. It was about blood preservation. He had figured out that if you separate the liquid plasma from the solid red blood cells, that it could essentially be refrigerated and stable for up to 2 months. In his position, he was supposed to be working from New York to collect and transport large quantities of blood plasma to be distributed overseas in the United Kingdom. Because of his genius breakthrough, he was made one of the directors at the American Red Cross blood banks and pioneered a bloodmobile so that basically people could donate blood wherever they were. It would come to them so that it could be collected and stored and then sent into critical needs areas. Unfortunately, he was very unhappy with how backward the time was because at that particular point in history, people thought that it mattered if your donor was white or black. And a lot of times they wouldn't let African American people donate blood, or if they did, it had to be stored separately. And he said that's ridiculous. Blood is red. It doesn't matter who it comes from. As long as it's the right type, it shouldn't matter. But the American Red Cross would not hear him out on that. And so he resigned from his job in 1942 in protest. His departure from the Red Cross was not the end of his career by a long shot. He continued to teach and he continued to work with Freedman's Hospital, which is an association with Howard University, and became the very first African American surgeon to be an examiner on the American Board of Surgery, testing surgeons of the next generation. Sadly, his life was cut short when he died in an automobile accident in 1950. Who knows what he would have done had he been able to continue. He said, "Excellence of performance will transcend artificial barriers created by man." I really hope that one day he is right.